Hello, BookTube. As some of the more nerdy of you will know, Aaron Facer recently redubbed Tag Tuesday into Bag Tuesday, in which he took us on a tour of his daily carry shoulder bag, taking off from a video that Bill Rutenberg did over at the Rutenberg Library, where he showed us his daily bag. And of course, I have been dealing with shoulder bag drama for so long, it's veritably a Puccini opera. So I jumped in with my own video and then a follow up video about changing my bag, about adopting a new daily carry shoulder bag. Because my current shoulder bag, this one, is structurally unsound. It's as simple as that. The the key function of this bag is that the shoulder strap is attached to the body of the bag by a sewn heavy-duty patch. See, it's got sewing all around the perimeter there, plus an X pattern in the middle. You might think that's really strong on top of the extra heavy weight of the patch itself, and it is pretty strong, but it's only as strong as the anchoring to the bag. And as you can see, that anchoring is giving out. This is just pulling off the body of the bag. That will not be a salvageable problem, and it is bound to happen at the worst possible time. I routinely, when I do errands outside of Hyde Cottage, I routinely accumulate books like lit. By the time I come back, I am usually carrying between 40 and 50 pounds of books. That's a lot of weight, and that's carrying upstairs, down sidewalks, bouncing next to my big fat body. My big enormous body. Sorry, didn't mean to use the wrong word. If you've got a bag that is structurally weak, sorry, the camera is bouncing because Frida has decided to dig her way to the other side of the world because I'm not petting her. But anyway, we can live through it. If you add 50 pounds of weight to big, heavy, solid books to a bag that is structurally unsound, that strap is going to pull right off the bag at the wrong possible moment. It'll be when I don't expect it. It is useless to think, well, I'll know right up until the moment, and then right before the moment happens, I'll switch the bag out. And as you can see, when that gives out, this will be useless to me. If it's full of 50 pounds of books, it will be stretched out like that, which means using this built-in handle won't really be helpful. The books will still spill all over the sidewalk. And even if they didn't, even if I had some way to get this clasp all the way over here to clasp the bag, that can't happen. When this is full of books, this is practically flat along the top. But even if I could do that, and we're going to use this handle as a stopgap just to get me back to Hyde Cottage, 50 pounds of weight on that would pull out one of these divots, or both of them. On the first try, it would. So it is foolhardy for me to wait any longer to replace this bag. But the fire in the belly urgency of the subject had gone out because I've been recently sidelined from doing any errands anyway. So all of the bags, new and used, were just sitting on the floor. Frida, can you settle down? Oh, God, baby. Anyway, I guess maybe she can't. But, where was I before I reprimanded my baby bean? Oh, right. The bags are all sitting on the floor anyway. So I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't left this bed. But two things have intervened to prompt me to make a bag video, another installment in the bag saga. The first one was that I'm feeling a trickle of energy, a trickle of returning energy, which you can tell from the bombardment of videos, and that is just a stereotypical thing that I do when I'm feeling really crappy, and then I start to feel a little bit better. I overdo things just enormously. I know that it's foolish, but I do anyway. I'm feeling a tiny trickle of energy, and that's immediately making me think of errands that are now delayed that I might be able to do, which will need a bag. And it shouldn't be this one. It shouldn't be this one. And the other thing was that Hannah at Hannah's Books recently made a video about her own bag. She noted something that I hadn't noticed, which is that no women have yet done this. And she took us through her daily bag. It was absolutely fascinating. And I have to confess, I'm probably not the only one who watches her channel who thought that the bag that she would lead in would be her knitting bag, which for knitters is a completely different piece of clothing, a completely different accoutrement. And she didn't do that. She led with her daily bag instead. It was fascinating. I was watching that video and I thought, well, I'm in my sick bed and I've made a barrage of videos already today. So I shirtless Skyped her and I said, I'm in my sick bed and I made a barrage of videos already today. But it is Bag Tuesday. I'm just thinking maybe I should wait and make another a bag video tomorrow. And she said, but tomorrow won't be Bag Tuesday. And I said, I know, but is it really that important? I mean, I don't want to overdo things. And she said, well, if you don't make a bag video on Bag Tuesday, I think you're a soy boy cuck. And I recoiled in horror because that's exactly what Aaron Facer said to me on our shirtless Skype session. So I don't want to run afoul of these mean girls at BookTube. So I decided to impromptu make another bag video, and I have what the professional YouTubers refer to as premium content for you. This is not just me waffling on. What we're going to do here, since there's a chance, it's not a good chance, but there's a chance that I am going to foolishly attempt to do walking around errands tomorrow. There's a chance of that. Today was a raw, wet, rain in the air, but not really rainy type day. Just the type of day that just eats into your bones if you're out for even a minute. A very, very Donegal weather. Tomorrow is going to be clear and clean and relatively mild. And then Thursday, Boston is going to get a slight brush, just a tiny little brush of this monster storm that is snaking its way across the top of the United States. Just unbelievable. Some of the dimensions of it are just unbelievable, especially in the far west. But Iowa's going to get slammed. Wisconsin and Minnesota are going to get slammed. And because of its shape, it's not a wall coming across the country. Instead, it's like a draft running across the roof of the country, which means that Boston is just going to get brushed, but Vermont's going to get hammered. Vermont, New Hampshire, they're going to get hammered by this thing. Now, there's a chance that those models are wrong in one of both directions, right? Either Boston could get hammered too. It's a tiny fluctuation in the jet stream, and Boston would get hammered too. We'd get 10 inches of snow, which we haven't had, and would shut everything down. Or the models could shift in the other direction and we don't get anything but maybe a touch of warm rain. I don't know, but it kind of rules out Friday. Or Thursday, rather. And by Friday, I expect to have almost full energy back. And what's the use of overdoing things if you have almost full energy? If it's not irresponsible, why overdo things? So it looks like the target is tomorrow. If I'm going to do that, I'm hoping, right now, I'm hoping that the better angels of my nature, my good judgment, whatever there is of it, talks me out of doing that and keeps me right here in this bed all day tomorrow. I'm kind of hoping that that's true, but if I don't, then I will be going out. And if I'm going out, I shouldn't use this bag. Heavy as the rest of it is, that strap is ready to disengage from the bag, and it will happen at the worst possible time. So I thought, since I know that's true, since I know I have to abandon this bag, and I don't have any great affection for it, so I'm not all that broken up about it, I thought what we would do is transfer the contents of this bag into the contents of the bag I intend to use as a test run. You'll remember, I'm sure, because you're hanging on every moment of this bag saga, that I narrowed the candidates down to 3. From a gigantic pile of potential bags, I narrowed the candidates down to 3. 2 LL Bean bags and 1 old leather bag that is the one I like the most, but that seems to me to have the greatest structural weakness. A lot of you have told me that it doesn't. First of all, a lot of you have said, a riveted leather strap is simply not going to give out. It might look like it is, but it's not going to happen. And the rest of you have said, well, even if it might give out, it would be easy for you to take that to a cobbler or a leather shop and get them to reinforce it. And it won't be that expensive for a bag that you already know you love. I would like this to be expense-free. So I have chosen one of the LL Bean bags. I've chosen the older of the 2. Now, see, baby, you have to get up because you sat on everything. She not only sat on the strap of the bag, but then she did the terrier tornado spin to make sure that everything's fine, which preceded in extra strapping the strap around her leg. And now she's digging. Bean, what are you doing? You are tiny. You're not making any changes, baby. Oh, you quite a difference from a gigantic basset hound whose bed was wherever she happened to land. You don't even know what you're doing. I'm trying to make a video, baby. Oh. That's all you care about anyway. So, all right, back to the melodrama. What I'm going to do, I've chosen the older of the two LL Bean bags. I've got a lot of use out of this thing. I really enjoy it. I've chosen the older of the two. Now remember, the problem with these LL Bean bags, the same ones with the leather bag, which is that the actual most important part, the strap itself, is small and relatively weak. I don't know, because of this band covers the anchoring of this strap on the outside, and there's a similar band on the inside that covers it. So I can't actually look at what kind of stitching is holding this thing to the body of the bag. I don't really know. It could be really weak. It could be just one line of stitching. It could be this line right here, and that's it. I don't know, so I don't. This is a weak spot, but I've carried loads of books in this bag, so I know that it's pretty strong. So what we're going to do in this enrapturing video is transfer the contents of that bag to this bag for a test run the next time I do errands, whether it's tomorrow or whether it's after whatever storm we get on Thursday. But before we can transfer the contents to this bag, we have to Frankenstein this bag, because it has at least one feature that I don't like. It has a few that I don't like. I'm not particularly fond of this internal pouch here, this thing here. I don't really like that all that much. I don't like this busy snap to keep it closed. I'm never going to use this. The inside of the bag I'm only going to use for one thing. I'm going to load it with books. I don't need any internal compartments, and there are quite a few of them. I can make it out. There are two internal compartments here that are held in place by this strap and become just one huge thing. But then on the other side, it happens again, and I don't need those. And this cloth, these straps, they take up space. So ideally, what I'd want to do is turn this thing inside out and get rid of those pouches, because they're going to get in my way. But that's a long thing, and if I snap these closed, if I snap these pouches closed, I think they'll mostly stay out of my way. They mostly just line the side of the bag. But there is a feature of this bag that is a no-go. It's a thing I don't like at all. And we've seen it already. I've shown it to you. It's this. There's a wooden rowel at the top here that is meant to reinforce the top of the bag to be used as a briefcase. But I'm never going to use this as a briefcase. I'm only going to use this as a shoulder bag. This wooden rowel has to go. So I thought we'd get rid of it now, on camera. We've got the trusty switchblade. You need a nice sharp blade here. You want to make sure to be careful. I am extra careful because I have no sense of touch. So a mistake here would be pretty bad. So what you want to do is make a nice, neat little incision on one side. You don't want to go crazy. You don't want to do anything lengthwise, because you don't really want your handiwork Frankensteining a bag to be visible. So you always keep the cutting edge of the blade away from you, but I'm just creating a tiny hole just big enough to get that wooden rowel out of here. Now, I've just done 2 incisions, but is that enough? Let's see. I bet it is. There we go. This is the thing. It doesn't look like it's wood at all. It looks like it's plastic of some kind. This was bothering me, and now it's gone, which means that this bag is totally flexible now on both sides. The outward side, the side with this flap, was flexible anyway, but now they both are completely flexible, wide open like that, with no need for this side to stay in a rigid shape. There's no need to do that because this is gone. And notice the incision is barely noticeable. It looks very little different from the wear and tear that had already started. That rowel was already starting to work its way free of the bag. So there we go. that part is done. Now, the other thing that needs to happen for this bag is the shoulder strap itself. This is apart from the anchor of the shoulder strap, which I've got my eye on it. I don't like it. It's not a good feature of this bag. But in addition to that, this shoulder strap, let's take a look at this thing. This was the thing that was wrapped around Frida's leg, so she's looking at it with a gimlet eye. Look at this thing. It's one of these cheap things. It gets narrower and narrower, so I hate these stupid prefab shoulder pads anyway. They're never where you want them to be. But this is folded up all along its length. I would have to work to unfold this, and where does it end? In these cheap plastic clasps. So we're going to get rid of that. we don't want that. This is just a bad shoulder strap. So I'm going to get rid of it, but I'm also, I think, probably going to throw it away. I have plenty of these things. I don't need one that I know I don't like. And inside this bag, there's another shoulder strap. This thing. Nope. Let's look at a couple of key features here. It has no annoying prefab shoulder strap. It's just a wide strap on its own. A much better look. It's also not black. It's light tan, which matches with the tans of this bag quite well. And the clasps are not plastic. They are metal. So we're going to put that there. They also, those others were stiff, whereas this is on a pivot right here. So it can't ever be in the wrong position. You can't ever put it on wrong like that other one. We'll put it on the other side here. See? We'll put that there. Okay, so the strap is better and the bag is better. Good. Great. Now, let's transfer the contents, shall we? Because I don't want Aaron or Hannah to think I'm a soy boy cuck. You can just see Hannah putting down her copy of Eudora Welty in order to Google what the heck that means. So, first thing we will transfer is the toy. It just has a plastic clasp, very easy to move. This was a friend of mine who told me, when you're working around kids or you need to pacify a kid, you're going to want a toy and you're not going to have one. You better have it with you. And I agreed with that, but then I also ended up just liking the feeling. I like the effect. It's nice. It's a nice bright color that breaks up things on the bag. And I like to have that in front of me, right? So you want to align it right. This is going to be the front of the bag right here. So we'll put that there. We'll attach that to that ring. There you go. So that's there. All right, and then we will transfer the internals of the bag, starting with the back pocket. This LL Bean bag does have a back pocket. The back contents of the old bag are 2 Brattle Bookshop tote bags. They make really strong, square-bottomed tote bags. I still go through these things like crazy, because they also cannot take 50 pounds of books for more than a few trips at a time. But I like to bring 2. That's probably excessive. But I like better safe than sorry if you need one of these things. They're amazing for increasing your carrying capacity. But since this is the dawn of a new era, let's take the newer of these 2. That's this one. We'll put that one aside, and we'll just put one in here. Just one. So we'll wrap the cover down, put one tote bag in the side pocket, and close it. We're going to close the side pocket, because that's the only thing that's going to be back there, and the only time I'm ever going to use it is I'm going to know ahead of time that I need it. I'm going to be fishing for a tote bag. I'm not going to use that pocket for anything else, so it might as well stay closed. Keeping in mind, another of the problems that I have with this bag is that it has a zipper along the top, which, when this bag is full of 50 pounds of books, when it's extended this much, it won't be possible to use that zipper, which means that in inclement weather, the books will just be exposed. I've had to do this before. You have to put like a plastic bag or a coat over them. But fortunately, this mega storm notwithstanding, Boston doesn't get inclement weather anymore, so we're gonna forget about that. One little benefit is that the clasp that held closed the outside pocket of the old shoulder bag didn't really work all that well. It's one of those little button clasps that doesn't often work very well. So oftentimes when I would throw this bag on the floor or put it on a seat or something like that, the Brattle tote bags would pop out, whereas this one is completely solid. They're not going anywhere. Great. Okay. So that's the outside, and then we'll do the inside. We're going to start with the 2 outside pockets. So in outside pocket number 1, we have just a do-rag, because Boston is in the United States tropics. And for 10 months out of the year, it's triple digit temperature and 100% humidity here. Just as bad as the worst of the tropics. So if you don't have something, you're going to be to daub your brow. You're going to be a shambling swamp monster. So that's very important. We'll put that in. This bag does not have two separate. See here, let me show you. This thing has two separate pockets here. The divots separate them, but they're also sewn separately. They're just two separate pockets. This LL Bean bag does not have that. It has a series of front pockets underneath the main flap. So it looks like there's two, but there really isn't. It's one huge compartment, and then another huge compartment, and then the main compartment. A little bit busy for my taste. So what we're going to do, since I don't need that, what we're going to do is the inner of these little pockets on the front has a zipper. What we're going to do is we're going to zip that closed and never open it again. We're just going to leave it closed so that it's one less thing to think about. Okay, that means we just have one exterior pocket and one larger exterior pocket, and then the huge inside of the bag. A little bit busy, but we'll do what we can. So we're going to put the do-rag on the inside of the little external pocket. If that makes any sense. The very outside pocket, this very outside pouch, the one that really should be two separate pouches like in the original bag, this is going to be for immediates, for the stuff I want to reach in and grab right away. The do bag will not be like that. It will be it's contingent. It's contingent on the weather. So it can be on the inside pouch. It doesn't have to be on the outside pouch. So that's one pouch, and then the other pouch of the old bag here is a face mask. That's rather anticlimactic, but that is an immediate reach. So we'll put that in there. It's a face mask. Let's see here. See, these bags are not trustworthy. Not at all. I'm noticing that my hall pass is not here. That's not good. Well, anyway, let's just move on. So the next spot here is to transfer from the old bag to the new bag is this pouch right here, which I would usually use for my Kindle. But my Kindles are up on the shelf there because they aren't behaving themselves. They haven't been for quite a while, for a few days now, almost a week. So that's not good. That's really not good. And the one element that I don't have here, the one that is that would ordinarily be in this, can't travel without a book, right? Now I have 751 books on my phone, but the fact that those Kindles have acted up has made me look a little bit askance at all electronic reading at the moment. That's not fair because they're not connected in any way, and even the Kindles will be fixed in no time at all. But I think I am going to shift back to carrying a physical book as well. I have my books on my phone, but I think the equivalent of this inside pouch here will be for a print book. It doesn't have to be a long thing. I'm not sitting in an airline terminal for 5 hours. But I used to, in the glory days when the Kindles weren't misbehaving, I used to say, well, since you're going to be accumulating 50 books anyway, what sense does it make to leave the house with one? Why not save all the available space for the books that you will accumulate instead of carrying them with you as you leave? I mean, you have plenty of books on your phone and on your Kindle. You have plenty of them. You don't need to bring any more, especially since you're going to be gathering them as you go. But I'm not saying that anymore. So this bag, we're done with the back pouch. So we're only talking about the front pouch here. And this bag has this internal spot where we put the do-rag. That is probably where a book will go, because I'm saving the external thing here for the immediates, and we're not done with the immediates yet. So let's continue here. Since this pouch is empty, that means that all of the inside of this bag is dealt with, which means the only thing we have left to do is the side pouches. So side pouch number one, what is in here? I'm not even 100% sure. Isn't that terrible? Okay, side pouch number one is writing utensils, a mechanical pencil and a couple of pens. They're important to have. They're not so important to have if you don't carry paper as well, and I don't, so I don't know if I'm going to fix that. But for now, just so that we're not reinventing the wheel, let's put these in the front section of this bag. But you see, the very front section of the bag, all it has right now is a mask. But in addition to the zippered part, the part that we zippered closed, This also has these preformed holding spaces. Can you make them out there? There, there, and there. These preformed things that are made for writing utensils. They're made for pens and pencils. So right now, just for convenience sake, we will slip those in there and just forget about them. See, so there you go. They are in there now. They're not rattling around. And the only problem that they might present is the same problem as the rowel presented, which is they add rigid structure to the bag, right? If they're on the outer pouch here, and then if I fill this with books, they might start to break. They might start to bend. I don't know. It could be that it would be a better idea to have them just laid at the bottom here. In fact, I'm sure of that. So let's take those out of there. These pouches cannot be used. We'll just lay them at the bottom of that thing like that. They'll rattle around a little, but they won't get in the way of anything. So that was external pouch number 1. Then we have external pouch number 2, which is my billfold, my wallet. So that is everything from this bag. There's nothing more in this bag. It has been emptied. So we can put it aside. That leaves only this thing. And the problem with this bag is that the main flap, the flap that drops, extends from this side of the bag, not the other side. It doesn't cover the other side, right? So because you've got the zipper to close this thing. So the designers thought, surely if we've got the zipper to close it, we don't need a flap to go over it. So this flap doesn't start over here. It starts here. And it doesn't go all the way down. If it was sewn into this side of the bag and went all the way down, I'd be a lot less unhappy with it, but it doesn't. It's a fairly skimpy thing. And this bag, unlike the bag that we're abandoning, has no side pockets at all. Just the bag there. There's no containers here at all. So I'm going to have to make peace with putting this in an outside pocket, even though that makes it vulnerable. You might think, well, surely that's where you would put this in the zippered compartment, but the billfold is needed. It's a quick access item. If it's there, that's what protects it. I don't know about that, but it did work that way for years when I used this bag, so it might still. And that theoretically is the transfer to this bag minus the hall pass. I have no idea what could have become of that thing. I need it, but I have no idea where it could be if it isn't in that original bag. I'll have to search all the other bags and a few shelves here. Maybe I took it out just for safekeeping. But that is this bag, complete with the Frankenstein structure and the new shoulder bag, the new shoulder strap, I mean. A fairly neat thing, a fairly nice arrangement. The billfold being right on the outside like that is going to take some getting used to, but let's see. Let's grab the zipper, put this in here, zipper it closed. Could I get used to that? I don't know. To grab the zipper to open it like that, I don't know. Because that would completely protect it, and that's what it's for. And maybe I could retrain myself so that when I'm coming up on a use for the billfold, I go to the zipper, so I give myself that extra second, the extra second that I need. I don't know. And that does it. The only unsightly element here, the only element that I'm not wild about, is, let me put my tools away, is these things just hanging down like this. They're supposed to attach to here so that you can, so that you can secure the bag, but I'm never going to do that. So I probably should take the trusty knife and get rid of them. Just make it a very simple bag that doesn't have any clasps of any kind. That's a little busy when these things are easy to remove. The stitches down here are easy to remove. I'd have to reverse the bag. I'd have to turn it inside out, but I'm sure that the stitches are readily accessible. To get rid of these two straps and then do the same thing up here. See, they are attached in that same way that we saw the grounding of the old bag. Stitches around the side and stitches in the middle. Very easy. You just pick at these until they're all gone. This thing will pop right off. And then I don't have to worry about these things anymore. I don't have to think about them. As opposed to wondering, if they're latched like this, then I can't get at anything. Then everything is less convenient. But that is the new bag. We are going to go with this for the time being. For the next time that I do errands, this rowel-free bag is going to go with me. It's going to be the thing that I do. And that is my bag content for Bag Tuesday. We have done the transfer. We have Frankensteined the bag and transferred the contents, minus my hall pass, which I have to find. So I have a new bag. Uh, I will take it out the next time I go on errands. I will take it out and test it, and we'll see how it goes, and I will report back next Bag Tuesday. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. Well, maybe I'll try the leather bag, or maybe I'll swing by. There's a shop I know of. I could swing by and ask them, what can you do with this? Can you do anything with this? Maybe I'll roll that leather bag up, put it inside this LL Bean bag, and walk it around and see if maybe you people were right. Maybe getting that bag shored up is the right way to go. But this LL Bean bag looks rather sporty, I think. It's got a good look to it, as Bean products tend to be. So that's the latest in Bag Tuesday. We have done the transfer. Now all that remains is the test. We must road test this first choice. So I will wrap this up for now, and I will report back when that happens. Thank you, BookTube.